Welcome back for more Reddit story videos. Today we have several I don't work here lady stories for you to enjoy. As always, don't forget to share and like if you enjoy these videos. Without further ado, here we go. Woman thinks I am an Uber. I was visiting a friend in another town. When it was time to go back home, I offered to drop him off at a train station so he can go to work his late shift. So I drop him off, and as I don't know this place, I sit in my car and start Google Maps on my phone to take me out of this town. Suddenly I hear my back door being opened. I assume my friend forgot something in the car, so I ask without turning around, "Na, hast du was vergessen?" German, as we speak German. An angry voice shouts back, "I don't effing speak German. Speak English if you want to make business. Now stop being rude, take me to address." I take a moment to process what is happening and then I say, "I am no taxi, sorry. Would you please get out of my car now?" She is having none of it and shouts, "Of course you are not a taxi, you are an Uber. I saw this guy getting out of this car and you are on your phone. No, take me to address or I will make sure you won't get any more customers." Now, my initial shock faded away and I realized there is a woman I don't know in my car, which is not a good thing. So I start calm and becoming more and more aggressive. I say, "Woman, I am no Uber. Now get the F out of my car or I will call the police." She looks at me puzzled, opens the door, and I am happy she leaves. What I didn't see coming was her reaction. I still have to enter my destination to Google Maps. Luckily, I had the idea to lock the doors of my car before that, because while I was fiddling with my phone, she must have seen this. She comes to my driver's window and screams, "I know you are an Uber, you effing liar. Now tell me your name and I will make you get banned." Then she pulls the handle, realizes it's locked. She spits on my window and still screaming proceeds to smash her handbag on my hood. At this point I was done with her. My car may not be of value, but this bitch will not smack it and adds more dents to it. I was about to get out of my car when I saw two police officers leave the train station, so I just honked. This made this stupid woman more aggressive, because it also made the police officers aware of the situation. They run to my car, one detaining the woman, one coming to my window to ask what was going on. This was when this woman made her mistake. While being grabbed by the one officer, she screamed, "Oh, what the F do you want now? I am being arrested because he won't take me to my hotel. Oh, kill me already." Well, now, she was clearly not in her right mind and vocalized to be killed. What happened next may be in part to the mediocre knowledge of the English language of these older German police officers. They must have madly understood the "kill me" part and saw the actions of this woman. After they talked to me and I explained them what happened and that I don't know this maniac, she came to the conclusion she was nuts, so they decided to send her to a psychiatric hospital. Now, I know she was probably released the next day if no judge decided she has to stay longer, but even thinking about this woman having to stay just one night in this psych ward left me giggling the whole 2-hour drive back home. Karen mistakes me for an employee while on vacation. So I was at a resort in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. My parents are Dominican, so I speak pretty fluent in Spanish. I was by the pool chatting with one of the lifeguards when a Karen in her 30s tapped me on the shoulder. "Karen, excuse me, I need a clean-o towel-o." She stares at me while holding a soap towel. Sorry, I don't work here, you might wanna..." Karen cuts me off. Karen, "Yes, you do, I just saw you speaking Spanish." So what? I'm also speaking perfect English. Karen, "Well, if you're working with tourists, you should speak English." Trying to not seem rude, I point her to the towel station. "Can't you grab one? I don't speak Spanish." No, you can figure it out." Karen walks away angry and me thinking that was the end of it, I headed to the bar. Lucky for me, I was able to overhear her screaming, "I need someone who speaks English in this place. I have a complaint about one of your employees." An employee takes her to the front desk to speak with the manager. 20 minutes later, I see the same employee return to his post and ask him what happened. Employee, "That crazy lady started screaming in English, so we took her to the manager. She wanted to get someone fired, but nobody know who she's talking about." I laughed and told him it was probably me. He laughed and said probably these tours are crazy. They are just sitting here. Fire them! Cast: young lady, YL, older lady, OL, embarrassed kid, EK, me, my friend, bookstore employee, BE. Little info at the beginning: I'm female. Since I was 14 years old, I started having troubles with people because I looked way more older. People were guessing 17, 20 years old. Also, I'm not really tall. At 13 years old, I stopped growing up and stayed at 160 centimeters, 5.2 feet I think. Also, my friend looks a little bit older than she was, just for you to know. It happened a long time ago when I was 14 years old. My friend, 16-year-old, and I live in a different city, so we decided to have a sleepover at my house. Since she was in my city only a few times and only saw my house, she wanted me to take her somewhere out. I didn't complain, I wanted to go out too, so we went to the bookstore because we both are bookworms. So we were in the bookstore and I was showing her my favorite books, she was showing me her favorite books, just chill. Then her smart brain decided to pick some horoscope book and she started reading about my love life because that's her only interest. After a while I was tired from standing and I just sat down and listened to her. She apparently sat too and we were just sitting. BE saw us but she was good with it. She's known me from side and was quite happy that teens still read books. All of us were joking that me and my friend could take BE's shift at store. We were expecting nice time with the books. Hell, we were wrong. After an hour of us sitting and reading horoscopes about personalities, interests, etc., the group of 3 people came to the store. Both of us weren't paying attention about them. Worst thing was that horoscopes were right next to the entry. BE was somewhere in storage, so we were apparently only ones in the room. Then YL came to us. "Excuse me," she tapped on my shoulder. I looked at her with a confused face. "Same, my friend." "Aren't you supposed to work?" she said with a disgusting sweet voice when you can hear how much that person wants to kill you. "But lady, we aren't," she was cut out by OL. "How dare you to talk back to us with this tone?" She didn't scream, but she put some pressure on her words. Both of us, me and my friend, looked at each other with confused and scared face. Meanwhile, EK was behind YL and face red from embarrassment, trying to tell "I don't know, mother" to let us be. He looked like 10 years old, but I'm not sure. YL started again. "I want to speak to your manager about your behavior," she said with a sassy undertone. Then I tried to tell them we aren't employees. "Lady, I'm sorry, but again, we aren't employees." Problem is kinda socially awkward, and when I have to speak with someone I don't know, my inner introvert take control. So I said it to them, but apparently I said it with my ultra quiet voice. YL and OL were by this time angry and started shouting at us things like we are lazy, we should be working, etc. Then our savior came. BE came from storage and left with them aside. They thought she was going to fire us, but I think she just wants to know what was happening and maybe tell them to act calmly. Meanwhile, me, my friend and EK were chit-chatting about book. He was cool. Lately we found out that YL was his mother and OL was her mother. We weren't talking even 5 minutes and we heard YL screaming through whole store. YL: "They were lazy and they were just sitting here. Fire them!" she screamed at BE. This was the last thing she said before BE had enough. As much as I know, she is a sweet woman, but in that moment she was angry as hell. I don't remember it clearly, but she was explaining her that we are just customers and we don't work here. We were expecting that it's over and we can continue in our reading. Hell, we were wrong, but not that dramatic. They both decided to leave store, but before they left, YL come to us. YL: "You should be ashamed. In your age, I was already working and preparing for my wedding," she added at the end of the whole thing. I looked at her with my eyes wide open. My friend had enough of her crap and ignored her. I think she assumed that we are 18 years old. Me: "I am 14 years old." I raised my voice. They both were looking shocked, then grabbed EK and rushed out of the bookstore. Same night we were telling this story to my parents and all of us were crying from laughter. Never expected to deal with this type of people in my life. Woman thinks I'm an employee serving people in a self-service restaurant. Employee caused problems. Okay, so in short, what happened before the woman came is me and my brother went to a self-service. I hope that's how it's called, restaurant. The employees there must wear their own red uniforms, while I was with some short and a red shirt. Sure, both are red, but the difference is huge. Oh, and also, I am like 16. This restaurant doesn't accept below 18. And so I went to get whatever we wanted and headed back to the table. So, as I was heading back with a plate, that woman stopped me and said, "Your service is terrible. Why didn't you come take my order?" She was calm and I thought she is here for the first time. Me, "I'm sorry. If you want to order here, you need to go inside where the actual employees are and go get your food." And those were my two biggest mistakes. I talked as if I worked there and told her to get her food. She went inside and grabbed herself a Coke and a banitsa, a Bulgarian food, and headed out without going to pay. I was already sitting with my brother talking because I didn't think much of her and thought she realized what is happening and move on. After exiting without paying, one of the employees came and stopped her and told her she needed to pay, and if she doesn't, she'll call the police. It's often that people think you can just pay later here, so the employee is probably used to it by now. The woman, "What? I need not only come from the table to this small restaurant-like place to get my food, but also pay for my own service?" Employee, "Of course you need to pay. We don't give out free drinks and food here. Now come in to pay or I'll call the police." At that time, the guards were already blocking every exit in case she tries to run away. And I didn't even recognize the woman, but was watching. Woman, "But your co-worker over there told me I can." She pointed at me, and at this point, she was talking loudly but not quite yelling. And that's where the BS started. The employee came to me and yelled, "Why did you lie to our customer, trying to get her in trouble? And why are you not in the kitchen to help the others?" Me, "I don't work here." "Yes you do, I've seen you in the kitchen before." Nope. I can assure you, my sister doesn't work here. She's 16 and is working part-time in another shop in another town, so please stop burdening us and go explain to the woman how a self-service restaurant works. I didn't have time to say anything. "But then why is she wearing our uniform?" Me, "That's not your uniform, that's just a red shirt. As you can see, I don't even have a name tag, like all employees must have. And I am 16, as my brother said. Your shop doesn't even hire part-time." "Okay, how about coming in to our manager who is inside and ask him?" Me, "Okay." Woman, "Can you just tell me where to pay?" So the guards told her where to pay, she paid and went to sit, while me and my brother went to the manager of the little place. He instantly said he recognized me as his student in PE. After a small chat with him and the employees later being yelled at, we went back to eat. That was unexpected to get an employee yell at me for looking like her co-workers, meeting my old PE teacher, and now I wrote my story of how an employee thought I was her co-worker. So those were the stories for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, a like would be highly appreciated. It really does help my channel out. Also, if you enjoy this and want to stay up to date on the latest videos, then don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next video.